Current Trend Case Brief Citation R. V. Scott 2020 ONCJ 26 Facts. Baljit Singh is charged with having care of a motor vehicle while over 80, contrary to Section 253(1)(b) of the Criminal Code, which means driving with more than 80 milligrams of alcohol in your 100 milliliter of blood. He alleges that his rights under Section 10b of the Charter were violated and seeks to exclude of any observation of the officer and the breath test results take pursuant to a Criminal Code Section 254(3) demand. Further, he argues that the Crown has failed to satisfy the statutory requirement contained in Section 258(1)(c) of the Criminal Code that the breath tests must be conducted as soon as practicable, and therefore cannot rely on the presumption of identity. In the end, he argues that the Crown has failed to prove the accuracy of the breath tests such that the offense of over 80 has not been made up. The parties agreed to hear the Crown's case and evidence related to the Charter application in a blended hearing. The Crown called PC Peach as both the investigating officer and breath technician. The defense called no evidence. At the outset of the trial, the defendant acknowledged that PC Peach is a qualified breath technician. Issues and decisions. 1. Did PC Peach violate the defendant's right to defense under Article 10b? Secondly, are breath tests taken as soon as practicable? Third of all, after losing the assumption of accuracy specified in Article 320(31)(1), can officials still rely on the breath test to obtain accuracy? The decisions to the issues are: the application is dismissed, the Crown is satisfied with the breath samples as taken as soon as practicable, and thirdly, the Crown is satisfied with the intoxilizer was properly used. Rationale to the first issue. At 7:50 p.m., PC Peach observed signs of alcohol consumption of Mr. Singh when he was conducting a traffic stop. He observed red-rimmed eyes and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage on Mr. Singh's breath. He demonstrated a self-breath test before performing breath tests to Mr. Singh. The device 0 milligrams of alcohol in PC Peach's breath and functioning. Mr. Singh's breath test registered failed. Therefore, he was put under arrest. After the arrest, she conducted an inventory search of the vehicle while Mr. Singh was remained handcuffed in the rear of the police cruiser during the search at 7:55 p.m. At 8:01 p.m., PC Peach returned to the cruiser and read Mr. Singh's his rights to counsel and caution. It was argued that Mr. Singh's right to counsel is violated. Section 10b of the Charter requires the police provide a detainee with rights to counsel without delay, referencing to R. V. Subaru 2009 SCC 33. The Supreme Court made clear that without delay means immediately. This immediacy requirement is subject only to concerns of officer or public safety. There was 6 minutes between the arrest of the defendant and him being provided with his rights to counsel. It is concluded that PC Peach expressed no concern for officer safety when she chose to prioritize searching the defendant's vehicle in advance of the tow. Since there was a violation to Mr. Singh's rights under Section 10 of the Charter, the court then had to determine whether the evidence obtained should be excluded pursuant to Section 24(2). The court assessed and balanced the effect of 1. The seriousness of the charter infringing state conduct. 2. The impact of the breach on the claimant charter's protected interests. 3. Society's interest in the adjudication of the case on its merits. There was serious breach to the charter rights because PC Peach did not make the defendant's charter protected rights a priority. the first step of the grand inquiry favors exclusion. However, the impact of the breach on Mr. Singh's charter-protected interest was minimal. The 6 minutes delay in no way impacted Mr. Singh's ultimate exercise of his right to counsel. Further, the breath test results are reliable evidence. Application of excluding the breath test results is dismissed to the truth-seeking function of the criminal trial process. Rationale to the second issue, as soon as practical. PC Peach left the scene with the defendant in her custody at 8:06 p.m. 4 minutes later, arriving at the 21st Division between 8:10 p.m. and 8:24 p.m. PC Peach and the defendant waited in the vehicle until other police officers at the gate allowed her to enter the police station. PC Peach testified that she believed the delay was due to another prisoner being lodged. According to the Section 258(1)(c)(3) of the Criminal Code, breath samples are to be taken as soon as practicable, after the time when the offense was alleged to have been committed. For the first sample, it must be no later than 2 hours after the time of committing, and the interval between the sample collection and the two samples must be at least 15 minutes with other certain conditions. A reasonably prompt time under the circumstances must be proven in order to justify the requirement. The defense argued that there was no admissible evidence to explain the 14-minute delay at the Sally Port. The absence of evidence relating Mr. Singh's blood alcohol level at the time of the tests to his blood alcohol level at the time of driving will result in an acquittal. On behalf of the Crown, Ms. Scully argues that PC Peach acted reasonably, and all of the circumstances provided proves that the breath samples were taken as soon as practicable. It was concluded that breath samples were taken from Mr. Singh as soon as practicable. Rationale to Issue 3. After losing the assumption of accuracy specified in Article 320(31)(1), can the official still rely on the breath test to obtain accuracy? PC Peach stated the improved instrument, the Intoxilyzer 8000C, which is designed to detect the quantity of alcohol in a person's blood, was in proper working order. The Crown conceded that the presumption of accuracy set up in Section 320(31)(1) could not be relied upon the given of failure of PC Peach to give evidence regarding the target value of the alcohol standard solution and its certification by an analyst. A breath sample cannot be made inadmissible if the accuracy required by 320(31)(1) cannot be determined. The prerequisites of the presumption of accuracy are not a requirement for the offense of over 80, nor are they a prerequisite for the admissibility or reliability of the breath testing at common law. Instead, they are a prerequisite to avoid the testimony of a breath technician by relying on evidence shortcuts that officials can rely on. The breath samples remain admissible through viva voce evidence of the breath technician together with the certificate of qualified technician. PC Peach's qualifications as a qualified breath technician are based on PC Peach. The Intoxilyzer was in good working order. Therefore, the breath tests are admissible. Although the immediacy requirement of Section 10b was not met, the results from the Intoxilyzer was admissible, thus reliable.